keep it.
Okay. And I'm gonna start, I'm gonna open it up and admit the attendees just to let you know, so.
Yes. Ooh. Oh, I bet it goes. Yeah, and then I almost ran out of power. So it's just, I get time to go home.
Okay, yeah, one time I was like on the phone with IT and I was like, I cannot get my camera to work, and then it was the little thing, and so
The little cover.
yes.
Well, you guys,
No.
I was trying to leave for my site visit this morning, and something was wrong with the system car, and it was like wobbling really intensely. And so I had to go back and like get everything out of the car and then take the key back in so that they could have it looked at and then get out to my car. And like I was dropping everything. It's just been one of those days.
Oh.
I lost my key to get into the building, and it's just been insane.
Well, we are on the downslope, Leah. So yeah.
It is near, it's getting there.
Well, I think my guess is Tamara's just going to keep letting people in. We still have a couple more minutes.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, well, it's 2 o'clock hour, everyone. Good afternoon from sunny, dusty Monticello, Illinois. I'm Sherry Waldrop. I'm the director at Allerton Public Library. We're having construction of a recreation park in our backyard, so we see a lot of dust. Anyway, I just wanted to welcome you all to Database Deep Dive. put on by the Small and Rural Libraries Forum. We have these virtual meetups, often conducted by people from small libraries like yourself.
You want
Uh,
to mute everyone?
yeah. I need everyone to mute themselves.
I think it's just I think it's just Jennifer.
Yes. Tamara, if you're still on, can you mute everyone except for me and Leah and
Yes,
Jessica?
yes.
Okay. We are recording this. Someone just asked that in the chat. I'm going to ask Jennifer if you can hear me. Can you mute yourself? There we
There we
go.
go.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. This is being recorded, and it will be posted tomorrow to the Smaller Rural Libraries portion, or I guess website. It's not really a website. It's our page on the ILA.org website. You'll be able to find it there. It's actually where all the rest of the other webinars are that we have had. So without further ado, I just wanted to introduce our speakers today. We have Leah Gregory with us. She is the school membership coordinator with the Illinois Heartland Library System. And we also have Jessica Silva with us, and she is the member engagement specialist from Reaching Across Illinois Library Systems, or otherwise known as RAILS. So welcome, Leah, and welcome, Jessica, and thank you so much for coming today to talk about the database and to help us dive deep.
Thank you, Sherry. So
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
yes. I see some familiar names, so hi to everybody. Come on. I'm gonna go first. So this is our database deep dive presentation. We also gave this presentation at Reaching Forward South, and we also there's a version of it that's more about like instruction and teaching that's also available on the Rails CE archive. If anyone's interested in that, I can drop it in the chat after my little portion.
It's also available on the Illinois Heartland Continuing Education page, so we can put that in the chat as well.
Perfect. And so we're going to go over how you can access the state database package. One thing that I do want to point out about that is you want to make sure that you get the link that's proprietary to your library from the state library, because that way you can get statistics for your library and your patrons that are using the resources. If not, it's just kind of like a general one, which is great too. The state needs statistics for like people using them. But yeah, and then we're going to talk about marketing to patrons, and also we're going to go over some specific tools today, some specific databases. There's a lot that's included in the package, which is really awesome. Illinois was one of 2 states that did not have a statewide e-resource package, so this is really, really great. Anything else about that, Leah?
The only thing I want to say is that the only way that we can keep this amazing tool is if we use it. So please go back to your library and use it. I was just at the state library and they gave me the disheartening news that only 10% of school districts have even ventured into testing these out yet. So we have our work cut out for us. So thank you for being here to learn more about them.
So first, we want to just cover some general benefits of using the databases. Definitely when you have people who are there with a specific research question, that's great because you can already help them. But if they don't have a research topic, I know probably in your libraries you have a lot of homeschool kids, so this can be a great way to generate a topic. Another benefit of using the libraries is that they're peer reviewed. One thing that I would do often is kind of a Google search for people and then compare that to a database search. So that's something that you can do with patrons as well, or even just screenshot it and have it on next to the computers or on your website. They are, they pass the what is sometimes referred to as the CRAP test, CRAAP. So they are current, reliable, accurate, and timely and trustworthy. Also, all of these databases are SIPA and SOPA compliant, so they protect privacy of patrons that are using them. And they're preparing students for college and the workforce and people just to be future ready. And major benefit is they are available at no cost to you or your library or your patrons. So.
I just wanted to add, there is one database, Learning Express, that is not SAPA CAPA compliant, and you'll see why when we get to that. But one of the number one things that I use when I'm talking to schools, especially when you're talking about looking things up online, if it's free, you are paying for it somehow. If it's, not behind a paywall, you are paying for it somehow. Usually it's by giving up your own personal data. So none of these are going to ask your students or your patrons for personal information to get the information that they need, except for Learning Express, which we will talk about later.
That's the only one that you have to create your own account for, so that's why. So we wanted to show you some examples of different institutions and how they've done the databases. So we have a school listed here, but yesterday in my Googling of this, I found that Eureka and Antioch have both posted it on their website. So I'll just show y'all like kind of what that looks like. Whoops. Oh, I can only do one link for just a second. So this is what Antioch's website looks like. They have the names of the databases. Some of them are the ones that they have themselves, like the Ancestry is not included, I'm so sorry. But like, for example, Auto Repair Source is included. So they shared a little bit about the database and then you can access it on here. But that's just some example and I will fix these links. Sorry, I think they ended up all being one link. But the main one that you can look at is the Illinois State Library link, which just looks like, yeah, okay, just looks like this.
And it's coming with a brand new website very, very soon. They have rebranded it with its new name, which is IRIS, Illinois Reliable Information Sources. And that website is so close to being released for all of us. So it will still have the same purpose, but look different the next time you see it, probably.
Super exciting. So you can see kind of some different examples of how people have listed them on their websites. And I know Eureka included some tutorials because they have Niche Academy, but there's just ideas that you can get of different things that people have done. And then as far
Oh,
as
can I jump in there
yes,
about
please, absolutely.
if you are a SHARE member, the consortium through Illinois Heartland Library System, SHARE has integrated these databases into their offering so that you can access them through SHARE very, very easily without having to set up your own access. But as Jessica said earlier, if you do that, it's great, it's easy, but you cannot get your own statistics. So you will not be able to report to your board how many people access these databases and so on. So it's a trade-off. It depends on what you want. If you want the user data under your name, then you're going to have to go through that step of setting up your EBSCO account and making your own proprietary links.
And the folks at the state library that you need to contact to do that are at the end of this presentation, so we'll share that with y'all as well. So a couple of things that we were also thinking about is how you can market these databases to students or patrons. I'm sorry, y'all. I have 13 years as a school librarian, so and Leah knows too.
I'm going to say students a lot too. When we
Yes.
say students, we mean patrons. They're interchangeable in this case.
Students of life. So lifelong learners. So some things that you can share are maybe like a college syllabus or an academic honesty policy, which will almost always ask for information from a reliable source and a citation, right? Which the databases are great because they generate the citations for you. There's a lot of college and career readiness stuff on that Learning Express database that we'll share. Again, the citations. Thinking outside the box. So one of them is like Auto Repair Source. So if you have a local car repair place, that's one way to get those page, like anybody who works there or goes to those places, something to advertise to them. And then we recommend sharing maybe like a newsletter or an email feature. I used to do at my library every Tuesday on social media, I would do like Tech Tip Tuesday. And a lot of times, sometimes it would be like, you know, if you go to docs.new, it's a new blank Google Doc, which is really nice. But a lot of times I would do sneaky database and information literacy instruction where I would say like, hey, have you checked out this database that has primary sources or what have you? So tech
And
tip.
the other thing that I strongly suggest about like marketing this is model it. So when somebody comes and asks you something, I know everybody's first thing is to go to Google. Everybody does it, including librarians, but maybe make, you know, these database links your first starting point. So if somebody comes in like, I really need to know about this concept or idea, just model their usage so that people aren't so intimidated by them. I think people who maybe haven't seen a database before think it's just way above their expertise levels. So just show them how it can be used and use it yourself to get comfortable with it and show that it's really not scary. It's quite amazing, actually.
Yes. And there's really something for everyone on there as well. So the one that we wanted to show is Explora Primary. So this is a database that we feel would be really great for homeschoolers. You can definitely look for topics by narrowing the subject. You can sort by Lexile level. That is something you cannot do in Google. So you can sort it by reading level. You can sort by source type, and you can help people find a topic. So this is what Explora Primary looks like. So if you have a kiddo that's coming in with a research project, anybody coming in with a research project, they can kind of go by topic, and then it breaks down into like subtopics. You can search for whatever you're looking for on here, and good chance to teach about Boolean operators as well. There's also curriculum standards that are here that match curriculum standards. And then if you click into a subject, can really get broken down like even more fine. And there's subtopics. This also, Explora has a lot of ebooks. So a lot of nonfiction ebooks are on here, and this is great. Right, you can access it now or you can download it. There's also some features that like will read it aloud to you, and you can change the font and all those sorts of things. And if you needed a citation, you just hit this little button. Does the pop-up show on the screen?
Mhm.
Okay, and you get the citation right there, so you can do any style. So this is a really amazing tool, and you can really kind of go into all sorts of stuff on Explora Primary. To me, this is good because I would start here no matter what, honestly, because if you know the skills of like using a keyword or clicking into these subtopics, then you can use those for the other ones. And this one to me looks very like clean and simple in order to access like. So if you were doing a project on Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who has his own energy drink line, I learned recently when I toured the Miller Brewery last weekend. So this has really good information. As I said, you can have it read it aloud to you. There's a lot of accessibility features on here, which is really nice. So lots of stuff in here. And you can like also highlight it and look up words and things like that. So that's Explora Primary. The next one that we were going to share, and I know this would be very exciting to you and your patrons because they love newspapers.
I am very excited about this one. I love old news, like looking things up in newspapers.
Yes, I have run into paywalls and then been like, and then gone to this and then been able to read it. So it's really nice. This has popular newspapers like USA Today, Washington Post, Star Tribune. You can filter by date, and you can do full text, and you can do publication type as well. I'm going to show y'all what that one looks like. Is it this one? Yes, this is the newspaper source. So if the full list of database looks like this, and then newspaper source is down here. So you can search any topic. I'm sorry, it's relevant. I'm not like a huge, but you know. So yeah, you can see that this is from Morning Edition NPR. You have access options. You can have the online full text, and then you can also filter so that you're only getting full text, which is really great. So like I said, if people are running into paywalls, which I think is happening more and more often, as it should, like journalists should get paid. But this is a really great way to offer this to your patrons, and they have access to news from London Standard, NPR, all sorts of great, awesome.
Reliable,
Yes.
trusted news sources.
Yes. And along with that, I mean, if anyone's familiar, a lot of times when I would teach this, I would probably pull up as well like the Ad Fontes media bias chart, and that would be a good thing to share with people as well, because it shows you where these popular news outlets fall on that and like how accurate their reporting is, and it's a really interesting tool. This is a really great source because you can look up auto repair manuals for any vehicle, and you can search by make, model, and year. I'm just gonna go Honda Civic. I used to tell my students that Google was like a Honda Civic and that the databases were like a Maserati. So I think it's a good way to put it to people as well. But you can look up all the stuff that I don't understand because I'm not a car person. But if you have someone come in, I think this is going to be a really good tool for them because it has diagrams. I think there's videos, maintenance schedule, all sorts of things about vehicles. So I think this is a good way to bring in some patrons that maybe you wouldn't normally have. And I think if anyone is like restoring a car or anything like that, this is all like really good stuff. It has about like products and how you can use them, and great tool.
Just more ways to show your patrons that the library is for everybody.
Yes. And it has really such a wide breadth of like types of materials that are available for patrons as well. And then the next one is home improvement source. So this one is really cool because it has kind of the same type of thing as the auto repair one, but like pool and spa maintenance, HVAC information, gardening, information about all sorts of stuff that I don't know about. How to choose a garden shed. Oh, this is great. So if you have a garden club at your library, or if you have a seed library, this is a great thing to like put next to your seed library, and share with patrons about all of this, because there's also like planting guides and sorts of stuff like that as well. There's also ebooks in this database as well about home repair and home improvement. So this is a good tool too. I wanted to share it. Oh yeah, there's remodeling stuff and things about plumbing and woodwork and workshops and videos, tutorials, all sorts of stuff on here. Really great tool. So, okay, I'm gonna hand it over to Leah to do the next couple.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
And I'll put the presentation in the chat for y'all too.
Okay. We have to get through what I've already done here. All right, so I'm going to talk about the consumer health database. So this is like, this I think will be very popular with a lot of people because healthcare is hard and scary, I think. So there is a consumer edition of the health source, and there is a professional edition of the health source. So if you have nurses or doctors in the area, I'm sure that they already have access through their places of employment, but you just never know. There is also an alternative health source for holistic and natural remedies and methods, but I'm just going with the consumer edition of this particular database. So I'm just going to type in diabetes and see what comes up. There are things here, like these are all, you can see as they show up, you can see what they are. So this one is from Scientific American. This is a journal. This is a periodical. It tells you if it's peer reviewed or not, because a lot of times when people are looking for additional information about their health conditions, they are looking for peer review because that's what their doctors tell them that they will need to access. But then there's more like popular ones like Prevention, which is a magazine that I've seen in doctors' offices, and a lot of people read it because it has a lot of good stuff. So each one of these you can click on to get to the online full text. And this is kind of cool because you can see the rest of what's in that publication. So I did not realize that was there. That is new. Jessica, that one thing I forgot to tell you is that EBSCO's platform, like interface has changed, like definitely for the better since the last time we did this. So I was very
User-friendly,
excited.
for sure.
Yeah, very excited to see that. Um, the only thing that you want to remember is that this ranges from very, very, very basic to very, very in depth. So people can get themselves into like the Dr. Google panic, you know, when you're looking something up and you're like, okay, I have this symptom. It's either nothing or I'm dying. So just keep that in mind for your patrons, but I think a lot of them will very much appreciate having this resource because a lot of times if they're confronted with a diagnosis, they don't exactly know where to start. So, okay. I'm not editing it. I'm presenting it. And it's going to start me back every time at the beginning. Okay, Learning Express. This is my favorite one, I think. And this is the one that is not SAPA and CAPA compliant. And the reason it is not is that you have to have an account to use it. So schools are going to have to tread more lightly with this one, but most of your patrons will be glad, who need this resource, will be glad to set up an account to use it. So I already have an account because I've demonstrated this so many times. So I'm going to log in, I hope. It's thinking. Every time I do this, it does something different to stymie me. Okay, we're going to come back to that. We're going to go to Novelist and come back to Learning Express because Learning Express is acting weird. All right, Novelist is for anybody who loves to read, but I call Novelist the librarian's best friend. This little doodad, it's recently been revamped, is the Reader's Advisory lifesaver. So all of you have had that patron who comes in with a book that they love and they're like, I want another book. I want it just like this. And then you like scrabble around in your brain trying to come up with something that might meet their desire for something just like that, but then you cannot think of more than two, and either they've already read them or they don't tickle their fancy. So I'm going to go, and I'm always going to demonstrate with kids' books because that's what I'm used to. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm going to go, when I start searching, you can search by the title or you can search by the series. I'm going to go to the series so I can see the series, and then it tells you the books in the series. So as you scroll past them, you will see all of the books in the series, and it gives you read-alikes. This is the number one thing that I love. So all of these books, if a kid comes to you and tells you that they really, really love Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and they've read them all and they need to find something else, this is a great place to start. And I happen to know that this is a very good list of suggestions because I came from a middle school library. And these are all books that I recommended to my students and really got enthusiastic thumbs up on them. So when you click on the other book, you get like this little pop-up. And then you can go through to the next books and go through them all and give them a bunch of titles at once. And if you want to see more about it, you can view details. The other thing I love about Novelist is that it does tell you age ranges. So it's not gospel. They might disagree with what you think are age ranges for different books, but it gives you a starting point. And I generally found they were fairly accurate. The other thing that it gives you, if you need it, is I'm going to get stuck here because I was just doing this before we got on here. Yes, keep scrolling down and it gives you additional information. You can learn about the author. It also gives you the genre and it gives you the tone, which I think is really important in research advisory because sometimes they don't love it because of what it's about. They love it because of how it makes them feel, or they love it because it's adventurous or something like that. So I really love their writing style and tone keywords that allows you. So if you know, like, um, your kid you have a kid that loves juvenile like fantasy fiction, but they definitely want it action packed, you can select books that are action packed. I wanted to go back to one of the more popular ones and the ones that have been around for a while, because another feature that's very good about this is if you scroll down, you can see all the awards that that book has won, and you can see I'm not having any like I want to show you the reviews. I was just in one and I'm like, oh, reviews.
Yeah, I think I clicked on one on the homepage, but it does compile them from Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, Library Journal, so you don't have to go to like multiple places to look at that stuff.
They're all, I've used them. So if I ever had to defend a book for any reason, I was able to go to Novelist, pull the list of reviews, and just have them all in one place.
Also,
And
we learned, sorry, that they're all written by humans.
yes, they are all written by humans.
Yes.
And all of their assigning those tone and writing style is done by humans, which I think is significantly better than bots. It also gives you like accelerated reader information and it gives you Lexile. A lot of parents come in and they're like, my teacher says that my child has to read at their Lexile, and this is the Lexile. So you'll see that. And as you can see here, like here's all the tags, here's all the appeal factors, here's the genre and theme, subjects, and then times and places. So that is Novelist. There's so much more that I could tell you about Novelists that we could stay there all day, but we will stop and go back and see if Learning Express wants to cooperate with me.
I will share, they did send me some training videos, so I'm gonna put that in the chat too if anyone is
For Novelists, did you go to the recent webinar about it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, now I'm getting this. The one thing that we didn't start with this, but the one thing that we are learning about the state database package is that it can be a little buggy. We frequently, the first thing Jessica said today when we got on was like, I hope all the links are working, because they don't always work 100% of the time. They are working on it. It's getting better every day. But Learning Express is just still not working for me.
Let me see if I can get.
Let me know if you can, and I'll let you share that because that's a really good one. And so many people, I'll talk to you about Learning Express while she's seeing if she can get it open on her machine. Learning Express is like a guided test prep and practice test site. So anybody who needs to prepare for the ACT, the SAT, the ASVAB, and even more professional testing, you can create an account, log in there, and take practice tests, as well as learn a little bit about the test and what the point of the test, like the background, why they do it. And I don't know about you, but as a parent of kids who recently graduated from college, I would have killed for this resource because paying for practice courses and practice tests for ACT and SATs are extremely expensive. It also gives you a resume builder tool, a scholarship database, And it also gives you, so like, let's say that your child is in fourth grade and struggling with multiplication, for example. There are practice multiplication tests as well as guidance for, a non-teacher to help understand how to explain multiplication to their student. I'll give it one more try before we move on.
Yeah, it worked for.
It did work for you? There we go.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm logged in. Oh, good. So let's say I want to do ACT prep. You can select which one you want to prep for. I'm just going to search for ACT and see what comes up. So here's a little bit about what is the ACT. This is a fun way to brush up on your vocabulary to get ready for the ACT. Here's a flash review. Here's a practice test. And just so much that you can do to prepare without spending a dime because it is part of this
It
database
also
package.
It also will let you do you can take the test in different ways. So it can do timed, or it can do where it explains the answer to you right after it, or yeah. And the resume builder too is cool. I use this a lot.
Here is the resources for elementary and middle school that we talked about. So mathematics skills improvement, high school entrance exams, English improvement. All of these are centers that you can click on. Adult core skills. So if you have adults who need help learning to read, improving their speaking or grammar, or the citizenship steps to becoming a U.S. citizen. I cannot tell you how useful and valuable this tool is. Jessica and I both love this one and talk it up to every single person that we go and talk about databases with. So there are tutorials, there are videos, there are practice tests, there are resources to get more information. So just I really strongly recommend that you familiarize yourself and use that. I think if I had to pick one that maybe might be the most useful to libraries as a whole, I think Learning Express might be it. All right. We're going to talk about ebook collections really quick. The first one that I wanted to pull out separately is Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia, because it is something that everybody that I talk to about this asks me, is there a basic encyclopedia? And there is. So if you've got homeschoolers, especially, that just need an encyclopedia, or you don't want to buy the print version of your encyclopedia anymore, you've got an encyclopedia built right in here. I always use dolphins as my search term. So there's dolphin, porpoises, and whales. You can learn all about it, access the full text. I don't love the look of the reader, but I do think that that is improving as well. You can also get the citations and everything that you need from this website. So that's a great way to market it to students because they don't have to think about citations. All right. Also within this collection are ebooks of various kinds. I showed you there on my screen that there are various different ebook collections. This link takes you to all of them and they're all selected. But as you can see, there are multiple ones, including ones for, K through 8, and then there's ebooks for high school, and then there's Cricket Media, which is I think is the Cricket magazine, so it's younger kids. It also gets more specific into some of these reference sources that we're going to talk about near the end, but you can unselect all of them and then just pick one. So if I'm just looking for nonfiction, I can click there. Or if I'm like, I am going to do this for my homeschooling group, I can select all the ones that are for students and look for books about butterflies. And then there's an ebook. Here's the title. And then it's like Jessica already showed it, that you can, it gives you your access options. PDF full text. And you can, it might be my internet that's causing problems here today. Why did the Maine Coon, wasn't I talking about mud butterflies? That makes no sense to me. As I said, it can be a little buggy sometimes, but I also like cats, so I am happy to learn about cats. It looks just like a book. It's got the table of contents and everything. I know a lot of children prefer to have the book in their hand, but if you've got a kid who left their research book for their report that's due tomorrow at school in their locker and their parent brings them in and the parent and the student are crying, you can really help them out with this. And then the final thing that I wanted to talk about are these ones that are specific reference sources. This is more for schools, but I think it will be helpful, as I said, for those parents who come in who are homeschooling or for students who come in because they did forget something at school. They can, specifically search literary reference, literary criticism information. There's one for science, history. There's points of view, which is a huge one in schools. Everybody was always asking me for pros and cons. There's a biography reference source for writing about famous people or doing projects about famous people. If you have Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts in your area that use your library, they may have events where they all like pick a country and do a little booth display about a country. And one of these resources, like the history or social studies one, would be perfect for that. There's also a professional development collection for librarians. So if you want to read about weeding, you can go into the professional development collection and search. Why is it auto-corrected to wedding? Weeding library collections. There we go. So here's some information that you can read about weeding. And I think, yeah, it's all just one. The one thing that I wanted to point out is that the EBSCO host interface looks like this from almost any page that you access it from. There's only a couple, like Learning Express, that look very much different. So once you're in it, now this is not going to show them all because this was a specific link for the professional development collection, but most of the time it will show every single EBSCO database here and give you the chance to select or unselect. I strongly recommend picking just a couple because it gets overwhelming very, very quickly when you're searching all of those databases. The other thing that we forgot to mention, we were showing you about giving your patrons access, is you do not have to put every single one of these databases out there. There's more than 50, and it can be too much. It can be too much for you, and it can be too much for your patrons. So I strongly think that you should pick like a handful that would be helpful to you and the ones that you think that your patrons would use the most and just start there and see how it goes. You can always add more. Okay. I'm
There's
going to go.
also legal information source, which has information about federal employment laws, divorce, trusts, patents, copyright, like trademark, all of that sorts of stuff. So
We didn't make a slide for that one. That's one we need to add.
yeah, and I do think a lot of people would, there's like employment forms, there's citizenship and visa and green card information. So I think a lot of people would use that legal information source as well.
I think so too.
Is that me?
That's you. Yep.
Okay. So this is just an example of what I would do when I was a faculty librarian at Austin Community College and I had learners of all ages and backgrounds. So this is just a way to like get people engaged while I was demonstrating using the databases. But I just used Padlet, which is a free tool. And then I just said like, tell us about what you're searching. What did you notice between a Google search and that? how are some ways to Google better. If any of you are interested, if you do not like the AI results that you get from Google, if you search -UI before any Google search, it'll take away like the AI results. And then you can also like when you're in Google Images, you can look at the usage, so you can only get like Creative Commons or fair use stuff. So that's a really good tool as well. Anyway, I could go on and on about Google, but yeah. So these are just some things I did. But if you want to make a Padlet that just has maybe like an example of a search or a tech tip or something like that, these are really great tools because they're kind of like a digital bulletin board and they're really fun. And then can you go to the next one?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that the state library has not officially launched these yet. This is a soft launch. You are welcome to share it with patrons. You are welcome to tell patrons all about it. You're welcome to put it in your newsletter that you have it, but just refrain from like taking out a newspaper ad or, doing something that announces, the new state database package because they want to do a big launch. They have been holding off on that because they are revamping the website totally. So please do share it with patrons. Just keep it a little quieter until that official launch has come. It was originally supposed to be April. As you can tell, we're almost in September, so they're a little bit behind, but I do think it is very close because they just shared with me the new dynamic links and it's going to be awesome. Okay, there we go.
And this is also something that I would do when I was instructing. High school kids do not like to take notes. I do, so I don't know, but I would just give them a little something to like write on while we were doing this. A lot of times I would tell their teacher like this could be a grade, so just like easy for them. But I think that it may be just making a simple handout for patrons that just has like how tips that you can use to Google, databases on that. I'm not sure, Jackie. Do you know, Leah?
I didn't see the question. Hold on.
If they can share on Facebook, like on their library Facebook.
Yeah, you can share on Facebook, but what I was told is like don't share the entire package. Share like, come to the library and check out this database, come to the library and check out this database without sharing the entire package on Facebook.
And if anyone wants copies of any of this stuff, I'm happy to share it with you too. You can go to them.
The other thing that I forgot to say this entire time is that when your patrons are searching in any one of these databases, they can email a particular article to themselves. So all they do is just put in their email address. And somebody specifically asked, does the state library or does EBSCO collect those email addresses? And they do not. They do not collect those email addresses other than for the purpose of sending it to them. But it's not saved anywhere where they could, use that email address again. So.
And this is just an example from Eureka Public Library. I hope this is like kosher. I think that's okay to say like we have databases at the library.
Yes.
Thank you to the Secretary of State. But I just wanted to show y'all an example of marketing collateral that you could do.
Also, if your patrons like this, if you're getting feedback that they like it, either please do it yourself or ask them to contact the Illinois Secretary of State's office and express to them that they do like it, because this is initially set for a 3-year contract with auto renewals with 3 auto renewals. So we're looking at, 10 years of this. But if it just is a dud and nobody uses it, I can see it going away because it is very, very expensive. It's like a multi-million-dollar package. And those of us who are complete nerds like myself, I am on here almost every day looking something up because that's just how I am. But I hope that it gets the use that it needs for them to continue it. Okay. So this is the contact information for me and Jessica and Susanna and Ryan. Susanna and Ryan are in charge of this project at the state library. They are amazing. They will help you in any way they can. You can reach out to them directly. They don't mind. I was just at the state library on Tuesday and I got to talk to Ryan at length about it. She if you have an EBSCO account already and you're having any kind of difficulty, she suggests you contact her because she is so well versed with it that she can almost always fix the problem faster than EBSCO can. If you don't have an EBSCO account yet, you'll have to contact EBSCO, which I didn't put that here, but I do have the phone number, so I'll put it in the chat for you. I am going to stop sharing so that we can take any questions while I look for that phone number.
Also, the state library is doing how to share it with patrons. So I'm gonna put the link to register for that, sharing the value of databases with patrons. I think it's September 30th.
Okay.
Don't be shybrarians.
Yeah.
Yes, if anyone has questions for Leah and Jessica, feel free to unmute yourself and ask
Yes.
questions. The questions I have, you guys can't answer. I need to contact Ryan because our link is not working. We've had
Yeah.
it on our website. And so while you guys were talking, I went to go and click on it and it's like, can't authenticate you. It used to work. I'm like, what happened?
Hold on a sec. I'm trying to get that phone number for EBSCO. There you go. I have it in my auto text little app and like it would not let me copy. So there's EBSCO. I'm also going to put the Illinois Heartland continuing education page with the link to the database deep dive, which is an older version of this presentation that Jessica and I did a few months
Great.
ago.
Thanks, Victoria, for that. So was it the state library that helped you? She put in the chat that hers stopped working as well.
It could be because they are changing everything right now, but I do. Okay, so you must have had a problem that made them go to EBSCO, but Ryan will be glad to go to EBSCO
Yes.
for you, and
Yes.
she will get a lot farther than you will sometimes because they're the customer, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none.
Yes, this was great. Like of course, as whenever we do these what do we call them, meetups, I learned so much. I end up with like a sheet full of things and stars and asterisks and it's like pay attention to this, do that. The last one that we did was like library basics and Kathy Parker did it. And oh my gosh, she had so much good stuff to say. So remember, everyone, that this was being recorded. And so if you need to come back or if to review anything, you will find it on the ILA website. And hopefully I'm putting, so I just put in the chat the webinars and meetups that we do. And so they're all listed there, especially some of the past ones. So if you want to go see what Kathy Parker said about insurance, you can go back and you'll be able to see that recording. And so, yeah, this was great. So no other questions, anybody?
The one thing I just want to encourage you to do
Yeah.
is even if you're not ready to like unleash them, fully, just go tootle around with them yourself. Even if you don't set up an EBSCO account right away, go to the state library's link and we'll share our presentation with you so that you have all these links. Just go there and mess around with them and see what it's like, because you'll realize when you first look at it, it's just so much information. But once you start to see it in action and see how it works, it's much less overwhelming. And here comes my cat to interrupt. So,
Oh, yay. Do you have that, Leah, do you have the website that takes you directly, the link that takes you directly to the state databases?
I can send it.
do you have
Okay.
it, Jessica? It's in the presentation, but I
I
don't have.
fixed all the links. Sorry about that. And stealing this from Leah, but Leah like always says that she's a librarian for librarian. We are librarians for librarians. So, and I always tell folks, even if you just need to whine, WHINE, you know, reach out to us. That's like what we're here for. We want to hear from you and help you. And we,
Yeah. And I am actually doing several of these presentations at schools. Can you hear me, Jessica?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Because it just clicked up. You're like, your microphone's not working. I'm like, okay. So I'm doing several of these at schools. We are glad to come out to your library and present with you to your patrons. I'm presenting with a librarian tomorrow to all of her teachers.
Oh.
So
Mm.
if you would like to host us, we would love to come visit you. Jessica and I spend all of our time all around the state of Illinois doing stuff like this. So feel free to reach out to us.
That's awesome. I didn't know you guys did that.
Oh, we will
Okay.
pretty much do anything. If a library asks us, we will do it, right, Jessica?
We'll have the
And-
chocolate. Yeah, the chocolate bowl has to be ready, right?
libraries are my favorite places, so I get to go to my favorite places all the time. So
Yeah.
Okay. What's ironic, Jessica, is I clicked on that and it says I can't get in.
oh gosh,
And
I'm sorry.
that's all right. It's obviously an issue on my end, so we'll
If
look into
you,
that.
for those of if anyone runs into that, also you can try clearing your cache or your browsing history, and that might do it too.
Okay.
One other thing about that particular thing, if you are having trouble, um, if you just click on the state libraries link and it's not letting you in, if you are anywhere near a border on the state, like if you're near Indiana or if you're near Missouri, it might be having trouble geolocating you.
Mhm.
So if that is the case, you will definitely need your own EBSCO account so that you can give them your oh my gosh, IP address, and then they can put it in there and authenticate it automatically because you might be on a cell tower that is in Indiana if you are close to the border, for example.
Yeah. Okay. Who knows?
It's working for me, Jessica. The link is working for me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, so other people aren't getting it to work either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am wondering,
I was also
I-
wondering if like maybe they're working on it right now, because you did say they're working on
they
it.
are working on it right now. The other thing that it might be is because Jessica and I are kind of part of the state library, so it might like have our IP address already. So that might be
Sure.
why we're able to get there.
Sure.
But as I said, ask Ryan for anything
Yes.
you need, and she's
Yes.
super fast. So
And she's very friendly. Yeah. She even
Yes.
put that out on the Illinois Director listserv recently, like just to contact
Mhm.
her about something. So,
yeah, she will be
okay.
glad to help you.
Yep. I'm going to try tomorrow because today's done. Yes. Just done.
I'm
All
done
right.
with it, and it's
Yeah.
done with me, right?
Yeah. Well, again, Leah and Jessica, thank you so much. So for those of you who have not attended a meetup or a forum meeting for the small and rural libraries, our next meetup is Thursday, September 11th. I know that's September 11th, but we are meeting up then. And it's actually an opportunity to crowdsource issues and build your network. So we were trying to come up with what some of the like topics were going to be. And we just had that one, like, maybe we need something where people can just come and say, hey, I'm a rural library, I'm a small library, and it's just me, or it's just me and a bunch of volunteers, and I need help, or I need insight on this issue. So it really is an opportunity for small and rural library workers. You don't have to be a director to come. It's just workers. It's open to any Illinois library worker. So just come. Again, you'll find that link to register for for Zoom on the Small and Rural Libraries site on ILA.org. We also have forum meetings every other month. You'll find those listed on the ILA calendar. Anybody is welcome to attend a forum meeting. We welcome anybody to attend. There are board members, but anybody can attend a meeting. The board members are the ones who kind of make decisions about, bylaws, or we're the ones who are choosing scholarship winners, that type of thing. But anybody's welcome to come to a meeting. And Tamara's putting all of that in the chat, all the links to the Small and Rural Libraries Forum. We do have, I'm going to put a little plug in, we do have a presentation at the ILA conference, basically for people who work at, basically for part-time directors who are basically working a full-time job. And we are, that is going to be happening at the ILA conference in October. So I still see no other questions. So we will let you all get back to your day. Again, Jessica and Leah, thank you so much. And hope to see some of you at some future events.